Go on.
And you can have the last.
It depends how hypey you want me. I don't usually have a... Thank you.
There's something that covered.
It's alright.
I've seen snacks getting passed around this fucking table.
Oh, mate.
I did ask for some chocolate fudge.
Very
Christmas
vigilant
fudge.
there.
Christmas fudge,
I
mate.
thought, and all I saw was just little fucking
I don't think we
movings
have-
about, and I saw him take one over and then push. He went like that, and then went like that, and went like that. I thought,
No one got onto that. I was just moving the fudge closer to
got
myself.
onto it.
I don't think we can do one of these without having some kind of
Treat.
crap to eat. Go for it. Warms you up on a
liberate-
Sunday.
I'll liberate one of them.
Go for it.
This is Silly Point, an Inside Etown podcast.
Right, hello, welcome to the latest episode of Silly Point. Hosting as always, my name is Dan, and I'm joined today by Carlos.
Hello.
Chris.
Hello.
And our special guest, the person in the grill seat, Adam Kerslake. So welcome to the podcast, Kersy. You know, you've been itching to get on it. So can you just give us a bit of an oversight about what kind of cricketer you are? You know, your role in the team, apart from being the professional wind-up merchant.
I mean, that obviously gets a lot of attention, doesn't it? Because I'm quite competitive, as a few people know. But as a player or as a batsman, I've kind of go out there with being an opening batsman, just to kind of over my dead body approach, and then I'll try my best to start playing some cricket if I haven't been. Have my bail took off. But I really like competitive sports, especially cricket. I love being involved in like battle in the middle.
It's been like that since day one, isn't it? When you came from the very beginning.
Gets
I
me
remember,
going.
I think one of my first memories of is I asked in the changing rooms. We were like a bit of a ragtag team to, I want to say it was Merseyside Commonwealth when they played at Liverpool Uni. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And I had no genuine opening batsman in terms of who had done it in other games. That certainly not even that season. I just said, look, anybody want to open the bat? Kersy's on straight up. I was like, you'll do for me. Let's go. We had a good start that day, I think.
Dave took me off stump. He was a good bowler in as well, but I did stay around for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it was my first season coming back after not playing since I was 16.
In the junior side, yeah.
But I really enjoyed. I think took 4 wickets that day as well. Bowled 2 behind the legs.
Nice.
But yeah, it was a good day. I think we was really struggling that season, weren't we? We like Carl said, we had a ragtag group of players. I think
It was more footballers. I think we had an influx of the
yeah.
Vulcan lads playing football coming across, didn't we?
We really struggled, and we was
Carey was one. Tom Lodge. I think George Smith might have been the very beginning.
George
Dreamers.
Davison kept wickets.
George was still playing.
Buller.
Did Buller play?
Yeah, you hit a few that day as well, didn't you?
I think so. Yeah, I remember. My other memory from that day is George was scoring, and they were kicking off. George went. It was like just over the rope. And it landed near George, and scoring, and George went like that. So the umpires saw they knew, and they were all going, "No way, that was it." And I'm like, "Well, George is like the most honest, genuine man in the world. So if he says it's gone for a 6, it has, because he'd have been the first to have gone like that. And we'd have all been going, it was a 6. But yeah, that was another.
I think
memory
I
from
turned
that
around
day.
to him and said it went for 12.
Have you always been an opener from a batsman point of view? Because a lot of the teams I've played with, the guys they've sent out to open have been, as Carl said, never done it before. Does anyone want to do it? Is that a thing for you? Or have you always wanted to be opening the bat and be the first out there?
Never. Do you know what? It was only since when I started playing. It was only since that season, and we were. I don't mean to be rude. We weren't. We had a team through together, didn't we? And I always was a bowler. Always wanted to be like my favourite bowlers were Shane Warne, Syed is it Ajmal, Danish Canary, Murray, McGill. You know, we don't have many in England, but they were. I always wanted to be a spinner. I just always wanted it. I weren't really interested in batting. I couldn't bat when I was playing juniors here, even though I hit a couple of scores. And weren't interested. It was only when I come to you and back to Earlstown, and you've had a few conversations with me. Like I could see the ball late a little bit and stuff like that. and we were struggling for batsmen that year. That I had a real go at it. And I think we played Goose Green here, and they had a couple of opener bowlers that were quite decent. And I lasted quite long, and I only got 30. And Carl came to me, he was like, "You may have wanted a bit more, but that's exactly what I wanted." I thought it was a bit of me that I like being involved with the meat in the meat grinder, and having, digging
that's
it
probably
out.
why I like opening. And I think as well, because I don't know whether it was recorded at the beginning, but you're on the go all the time. Physically, So I think if I'd have said in those days 6 or 7 or lower, you might have done your own head in. Sort of, I want to be out there. So maybe for a mentality side of it, maybe that was always just a bonus. Just get him out there and let his head do his bit out there, rather than doing like I say, doing press ups or something out here.
I can't
to go
stay
in.
still. I can't. If I stayed still in the middle, they'd get into my head. So I have to be doing something. I've got a ball there and fidgeting.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah.
It is interesting when you're umpiring, because obviously I'm the designated umpire for the twos, and when Kersy's batting, if he's opening the batting, when he's on the non-striker's end, you try and focus, and you can hear him, well, that bowler's doing this, and he's doing that, and they need to watch this. And even when it's, most batsmen will just, at the non-striker's end, they'll just put the bat down, and they'll just, you are very much analysing, okay, where's the next shot going to go? What's that bowler doing? Yeah. Oh, look, he's a chucker. We've heard that a few times. It's just, it's the focus, isn't it? You are constantly, you don't switch off. Once you're out on that cricket pitch, you don't switch off at any point.
No, I find if I'm doing nothing, I find I do switch off, and that's no good. I find that people can get at me as well if I'm not fidgeted, if I'm not tapping down. I mean, I got accused of flattening out a frigging a minefield when I was batting once, just to try and, like, every time there's no demons in this pitch, I just go out, do me pat, do me walk, and it just keeps me concentration. Because if I don't, I can easily be got at, easily. Yeah,
I'm a big guard marker, not to the extent Mail does when he digs a trench, but it's certainly when I'm back, when I start, play or miss or not, or whatever it is, I'll mark my guard again all the time. It's a concentration thing, it just settles me as well.
Yeah.
One of our Sunday teams didn't use so much dig a trench as take a pneumatic drill to the pitch, but
it was like how far they did it just in front of the middle stump, then there, and then up by the crease. So what? Who's this guy? Who's this guy? Well, they see it on the TV, don't they? And I suppose they don't really understand what the purpose of it. I remember like Graham Thorpe's. Remember his?
Get the bail off.
Just hit the bail in, and that was it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, just do that.
So, Kers, you've kind of alluded to this. This isn't your first time at Etown. Like, how did you first find your way to the club and back to the club?
It's a bit of a long story, to be honest with you. We, I think when I was about 14, maybe 13, I've always loved cricket. I've always loved the long form. I'd do 5 days, sat on couch, I think Channel 4, whatever it was on, BBC, I don't know, back in the day. And I always fancied my hand to it. My dad, when my mum and dad divorced, he moved to Blackpool, and I used to watch the cricket team on South Shore. I used to, rather than play football, I used to go and watch it. I used to enjoy it. And first picking up corky ball, I was like fascinated. That's what really put me wanting to join the school team. And when I joined the school team, we had Lomo, Goody, Ryan Jones. Just before Sean Bridget came over from South Africa, which was a year after, I think. Max Wright, Si Melling. And played a little bit, and we had one of the coaches from Newton Cricket Club at the time, and they said you can go and just go and on the nets on there, and we did, and they used to boot us off and go and play in your own nets, and we're like, well, your coach has told us to come over here, which kind of put me off Newton, and I knew the lads were playing at Earlstown then, and I knew then there was a bit of a rivalry between Newton Cricket Club's under 15s and Earlstown's under 15s. Because no one from Newton Le Willows played for Newton Cricket Club. It was all people that had, well, I don't mean to sound bitter here, but you had to have a bit of money. They all had nice cars and stuff like that, and us kicking us off their nets. Anyway, digress a bit. Came and played for Earlstown. Si Melling's dad was Dave Melling was the manager here. Yeah. And I like Dave because he was a bit volatile like myself. but he was passionate, and he was really. And I love that about someone who's passionate and into something. And you know, if you're doing it, do it right. And he'd tell you a few own truths. And I came over, tried spinning. Yeah, and that's how I got to play here. We battered Newton twice that year, and the season after.
We must have then had a good record against them in the under 15s. I'd like to. I don't obviously play cricket wasn't a thing then, but I played in 2 wins at their place, and they were. It was giant killing for when the teams I played in. They were from 1 to 11. They were better than us. It was like me, Fletch, Mike Dudley. Remember Mike? And maybe even, I don't know, because Sean was in your team. We had a bowler who was, I can't think who our sort of quick bowler was at the time. But yeah, same as you, yeah. So we, like I say, we must have a good record. If you're under 15s, turned them over a few times. I definitely was part
we
too.
lost our first game against them, and you could tell they were coached really well. I think their captain was a decent player. And it was a close game, and they were proper smarmy about it, which, you know, I don't mind that. You win your game, it's been a tight game. I don't mind that, but
I remember my dad running out the score box there because he was scoring one of their dads, and when we won, he's like out the scoreboard celebrating. I was like, class. But I think my dad would have been wound up by the kind of them and us situation that may have been in place in them days. But yeah, funny, good times.
Yeah, it is good, especially local derbies at that age. Us all being from Sally's, you know, a bit of a kind of a up and at it working class school.
Do you know the probably the best story of that rivalry in terms of the open age was Tony Spav man-cadded to win the game.
Did he?
Nice.
No warning, like you're supposed to. Just went bosh off with the bails into the bar.
Depends how
Peter Brooks would know better than we need to get Pete on one of these for some of them old stories. But yeah, the rivalry wasn't just the under 15s in a...
I'm not all for man-cadding, but it depends what the context of the game is. I know that, but it depends what context of the game is. If it's been ill-fought and...
I don't know. You would just assume with the local derby situation that it was a bit tense.
It was very tense affairs. Like, seriously played cricket. It's probably a really good watch as well. I remember Dave Melling when I think Newton beat us the first time and they knocked us off. I remember Dave Melling steaming out of that dressing room and going in his car, sitting in there. My mum going in, going, "What's going on?" Forget him, and then he come in at the end. I think we ended up getting beat, but after that, yeah, some good.
I love the emotion.
Intense rivalries between Newton and the Willows Cricket Club and Earlstown.
And I think Carl's mentioned it. We are under the same banner now, albeit different levels, but we're under the same banner. It'll be
officially now.
It'll be interesting to see if that ever.
Well, I wonder whether
kind of matches up, or we get paired up with them in any kind of form.
AGM next week, whether they mention fixtures, but I don't know if their cup would be like an FA Cup where everyone can play anyone.
They do. I don't know which one it is. They do have a version of the FA Cup. I think it's 20 overs. But I'm not sure. But
so you never know. We might get a draw. That'd be a nice away game, though, wouldn't it? Wouldn't have to go far, would we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. It's all right. As I said, I'm saving that for the older game. So, you were a junior. Did you go from junior straight into playing like the men's weekend, or was there a bit of a gap? Or
I got asked to play for the open age team. I don't know if they were short or anything. They must have been if they asked me to play. And I think I remember walking into the dressing room. It might have been Springview where we was playing. I don't know. I can't remember. And I was 6'3", fully grown then, and Dave was like, what's he doing, Dave? I went, he balls, and they were all like, sint height on me. And then when they told him that I was a spinner, all the lads just I've never seen disappointment. And then they said, at least he's got the right pair of socks on.
Yeah.
Which, it was a...
White ones.
It was a bit of a thing that then, doing things correctly.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoyed that. I tried, when we played for the seconds last year, I don't mind, and I understand a few players are new to cricket and stuff like that. I don't care what skill level you are, but if you're not walking in when the ball is coming in,
basics.
that irritates me. And you'd get scolded when I was a young lad going into that opening team. You're not walking in, you're not backing the bowler, you're not cheering the bowler on, you're not passing the ball, you're dropping the ball, you're not taking care of the ball. Just little things like that, which have always stuck with me. I think we had a really good grounding when we went into the open age in the juniors from Earlstown, and we all had a little go of it. Just when I was batting as well, open age as a junior, going for balls you shouldn't do. You're going to leave one of them. You don't have to hit everything, just little things like that.
Yeah. We've talked about this, haven't we? Because I think I mentioned on one of mine that I think it was the one with Suraj, where when I started playing many years ago and we were playing 20 over cricket, a young lad, he must have only been 15, was playing for the opposition, and he played a reverse sweep, tried to play a reverse sweep, and our captain stopped the game and went over to him and said, "You pack that in right now because you're being disrespectful to cricket." And that lad just blocked out the last 5 overs. And it's like, it was a different mentality back then, wasn't it?
There's got. I think we're only any of the teams any of us have played in. They're only amateur teams. The lads who are socially wanting to do something, to be part of something. Because I think when I first started playing, the leaving of you would leave the ball, you would be thinking, but it was, let's not get beat, so don't get out. And to me, as like naturally an attacking player, that wasn't great advice for there. No, I've never played a reverse sweep. I've never played any of the modern shots that people play. I'm very old school in that way, but I'm still attacking. But it took something out of me before I became like 16, 17. Don't get out, batting sort of middle to sort of bottom of the order. If you need to stay there, hang around with whoever was batting well at the time, Fletcher or one of the McHughes or my dad. Don't get out, and that then you forget then how to take advantage of a full toss or a short and wide one, because naturally you're sort of edgy about it. So I think as captains or as coaches, you've got to try, and it can't just be one rule. You've got to try and look at like the way that Kersy would bat, or the way that you would bat. That kid that day who played the reverse sweep, that he might have just been an absolute natural, and he might still be playing those sort of shots.
From there a little bit.
Massively moved on just from where we are. Yeah,
I think not always for the best. I think like you said, being in your shell, just playing out for. I've seen Michael Averton stand there and not do anything for frigging days. Yeah, you've got to win a game, haven't you? I mean, I don't like giving my wicket away at best time, but I think I came off here, New Victoria, and I said, I've got to start hitting it now when it was drinks, and I got out. But if you're not going to score, what's the point? You've got to play your shots, haven't you?
It's being adaptable to the game, innit? Because there's so many. One of the reasons so many people love cricket and love playing it is because there's so many facets of little bits in between, whether it's just you and that particular bowler, or it's like I've always thought, like when I bat with Eddie Platt, could be two great bowlers either end. They might bowl dot balls to me, but Eddie's scoring freely off them, and vice versa. It's a good length to Eddie Platt is not one to me, and all that sort of stuff. So I think that it's crazy how many things, and I think especially if you've got someone like constantly, you do well to leave and bat as sensibly as you do, because
my head's always going,
always spinning, always thinking, because I like to cut that off. I just want to try and block everything out completely. It's me versus the ball as in that moment. It doesn't always work like that, concentration wise, but I think it shows how strong your mentality is at times, because you've got so much going on, because you're like a chip at the, if a fielder says something, it's going to get
be able to back it up.
This episode of Silly Point is brought to you in association with St Helens Dart Shop Megastore.
180.
I've seen you chat to umpires before, and you think, fair play, and having captained you for a long time, I figured in the end it was just, I sort of knew how much leash I could give you in the end that way. And
I've had a few tellings off from Carl in the middle of the.
Let's hear it. Let's hear about some of them. Then that's my next question.
Well, it just as you know, how you said yourself, I think in the opening gambit of this, it was the competitiveness in him. It's there from before we start, and it's, if you can harness it it's great. But what tended to happen with us was he would start or react and then start something from our side.
Yeah.
And then you'd have like Danny Edwards might start chipping in, or
Yeah.
I don't think Jenko was part of the first teams that we played in together, but there was plenty of them to chip in, Horsfield, or somebody was going. So then I didn't just have one lad to try and calm down. It was 4 or 5 that were chipping in because he was chipping in. And one thing that we never ever have been able to do, in my opinion, is if we get involved in some sledging and some arguing and some, potential fighting situations, we don't play good cricket on top of that. We go to pieces. And I think some teams that are allowed to do that every week by their captain or their hierarchy, whatever, they can still play good cricket, or if anything, fires them up to play better cricket. It's never worked like that with us.
No.
Whenever we've got involved individually or a few groups of people, it's always gone. We've never responded well in terms of the actual game. I've had some fun threatening lads and whatnot, and we've chuckled about it, but ultimately we're out there to play cricket and try and get some results and stuff, and it's never quite gone. But yeah, just there was one, I remember, an umpire didn't give us something that it looked plumb basically, and I think it was full. A lad tried to sweep him, didn't get his foot out of the way or out in front of him. Yes, he turns the ball a mile, but as an umpire, it's out.
Yeah.
You don't have the technology that they've got on the TV. It's hitting him all in front of 3. He's out, massively out. I was as annoyed as anyone. I think I might have been short cover or somewhere. Great view of it. Obviously not as good as him, and he's just, and obviously having a good go, which was understandable. But then, bowled the next ball, still saying something to the umpire. Bowl the next ball, still saying something to the umpire. Then he's saying, well, you fucking shouldn't even be here. You plumbed 3 balls ago and that. And then I'm thinking,
a common from me.
But then it started to drop because he was upset about dropping the ball short, and they were tucking in, they were loving it, and it was kind of. I think he might have said, don't be taking me off now, man. But you're off, pal.
Yeah, I do see the red mist. That is one of my downfalls. That's why I need to be busy out there. I think we've had one of the. Do you know what? I totally forgot about it. I know which one you're talking about now. It's brought memories back. I do like to think though that since having children, and I'm going to come back to what you just said, where I've carried it on, because I've had a couple of times where we've been on and Carl's actually risen his voice at me and proper gone, listen, stop now. It's just too much. You do have to learn from them, situations, especially as a player like me, because then I'm getting in my own head then, and like Carl saying, you're dropping it short, you're dropping it wide, and you're getting hooked anyway, and then you've just spoiled your own performance, and the umpire you've just gave a mouthful and you continued it on, he's just going to think, well, I'm not going to give anything now.
Absolutely
nothing. Give nothing now, and they're going to be all over that. They'll see that if I'm batting next or vice versa. Yeah. Now, sledging's a brilliant tool in a game. It is just a little one. If someone's hit a few balls and they've come off the edge of the bat and they're not doing anything, you can say, well, you've only run your vitter off the edge of your bat, and you don't need to carry it on from that. That'll live in his head for about 10 overs or until he gets out then. Yeah. But berating someone and going through, there's a fine line between doing it right. And I think when I first came over, I was that enthusiastic, chasing every ball, doing this, trying to win. That you can overstep the mark, and I think I've done that a few too many times.
But the other thing is, I think there was an issue this last season, I think, where you sort of carried your own upset into the change rooms and then went straight out home.
Yeah,
I think that's probably something out of anything that you do out there. That was probably something I would be looking at you to kind of for your own enjoyment and benefit and part of the team. But my experiences of that is if you've rushed off at the end of the game, it's because you've worked in the morning, managed to play, and then you've had to get home to family and do or going out or whatever it's been. So I've always respected that, but I've always appreciated the fact that you're out of all of our, should we say, hotheads, for want of a better term, you've always been the one out of all of them that's come to me when you have got you compose your back and gone, sorry, it won't happen again. Then we've had a little bit of a chat about it, and then it's forgotten. It's done. Don't need to drag it into next week. I've never felt like I've never given him the ball to bowl and gone, listen, none of that shit from last week. Never had to. Yeah. It might have happened, but we've never felt like it's a red mist situation. It's gone, and you don't drag it on. And I think that's why even though you have a reputation, I think I haven't played in the same team as you for a long while, unfortunately, but I feel like your teammates don't dread you being around, if that makes sense. Because we have had some knobhead players who I know other lads, I don't want to spend my Saturday afternoon with him kicking off. And I don't really think anyone's ever felt that about you.
No.
If they have, they've never said out to me, but which shows that you're respected in terms of people enjoy playing with you, but know what you like. And some, like these two, were chuckling away. It's probably some of the things that you've come out with this season, the last season.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Which it is part of the game. It's good. And when you said you were coming back, it was, I was like, not so much about time. That wasn't what I thought, but I thought, great. That can only be a huge benefit to the club, whichever team whichever team plays in. Is what?
I think having kids has helped me.
Do you reckon?
With me, don't get me wrong, I'm still getting enthusiastic, Adam, when I go out there. Obviously, you get a little bit, but I think I know when to cut it off. I've there's a time and a place, isn't there?
Yeah.
Sometimes people deserve it more than
Yeah.
you should, but
I think as well that now, from our point of view, we don't necessarily have the rivalries we did in those days. We don't play Churchtown that often.
We don't play Newton at all.
We don't
haven't
play.
for a while.
Who else do we have issues with?
It's very,
at
very
times?
rarely, even just from a rivalry point of view, it's very rarely you played Haydock lately as well.
Yeah,
Because
that's true.
different leagues.
I think that's disappointing me, because I think having them types of rivalry are really good for the game of cricket. I mean, speaking from a personal point of view, I love nothing more to watch a game against Newton and Earlsdown. Now, I'm not saying that the calibre of the teams are going to be close, but as you've seen over the weekend, Man United, we beat City. I wouldn't say Man United's team's as good as City, but they got the result and outplayed them. And I think having,
It's always good
it
to have
put
a
bums on
rivalry.
seats, I think.
Definitely.
I'm not saying we won't be there in the future. I'm not saying some of our players are not there already, but I just think as a whole, obviously they've been in the top of the comp.
Yeah.
Do you think, so just kind of to slide off of that, do you think you play better? So say if we were batting second and we were fielding first in a game, does it give your batting a boost if you come off at the end in between innings and go, I know I've got under their skin, I know I've put one on him, I know I've done that? Does that make you feel?
I don't think like that.
No,
I don't think like that. I try and shut it. I try and forget what I've done, because it's only one half of the game, isn't it? I think if you rest on the laurels of the first half of the game, as our second team said last season, that you can lose track of the second half, which is what wins your games, in my personal opinion. I've seen us when we played Halsall and we bowled them out at their ground. I think, what did we bowl them out for? 120? At one point we had 5 wickets for 30 and we was all dancing around, and I was watching people, I think even Mill touched on it, and they ended up getting 120 and we couldn't get nowhere near it. They knew exactly how to play on that wicket.
80 all.
And what we did there is, like you just said, do I think about it the next part? I even at 120 we went in and think he was going to win. You can't ever think like that. You can't think you've got in someone's head out there, because they'll just come out and might play a blinder and make a fool of you. So I don't think like that. I don't go out there to intentionally go, you're having it, you're having it, you're having it. I don't do that. I don't think it is. It's just sometimes in the moment I may be wrong with how I say it, but sometimes I think when someone's in, or I think someone's a bit vulnerable, I'll say something. If I think it's worked, I might do a little bit more. If I think it doesn't, you'll notice that I won't say anything to him again. That's only because I've learned from when I played last time with Carl, where he's had to hook me or tell me or not play me at goose, not bowl me at goose green, just let me stand at the corner. I think fine leg to fine leg. I knew what he was doing, but it worked. And then that brings it back to games like, it's just experience, really.
Of course
isn't
it is. Of course it
Just
is.
experience.
So this time last year, like I hadn't even spoken to you, you were bowling in the first team net. That's not the way it works, but that's generally the congregation, and I was in the second team net. So in kind of 12 months, I've kind of watched a lot of you play, and like you came back to the club after a break last season. So did you set yourself any kind of goals or targets overall, or was it just enjoy your cricket?
I think my main goal was to establish yourself in a team, any team. I've not played cricket for a while and I felt rusty. I knew there was like things that I was working on my game in the nets. I think Jordan messaged me I won't say what it said on it, but he said, you've been picked for the second team, and I was absolutely made up. Honestly, I was so made up that I got in. I didn't know whether I'd done enough in training or whatever I'd done to make first or second team. I was just really happy that I got in the team, and then I think I came down. I was so excited.
Yeah,
you know
what
what I'm like, Carl. And then we went, right, you're in
about,
first team, going to Cheshire Lions, which.
You're just driven all the way from Liverpool as well.
No, not so much that. I kind of like, once I'm set in the team environment, like I'm in amongst the lads.
Yeah.
I was. They went, right, you're coming up, which is no problem. I don't mind going up. I was like, oh, sorry lads, it's not your fault. And when I played up, but it was enjoyable playing against a quality bowler and sat there, albeit not playing for like 6 years, but it was really enjoyable. I was probably all over the show as a batter. I wasn't reading anything, but that was probably more cobwebs. I think if I played them now, I'd have had a good battle with them. But they've got some serious good bowlers.
I think the way you bat is quite technical, isn't it? It's not necessarily. I don't think it comes. You have to work at it, at your technique. It doesn't come naturally, does it? It's not like you can go out there and think. No. It's not like it would never have been worth you coming back playing LMS with a view to them playing on a Saturday, because you probably would have thought, you know what, maybe it's past me this.
It's a different game to me.
Totally different.
So I think you always were going to need half a season's worth of batting to get yourself back up to speed, literally technique-wise, timing-wise, all of that. Because, I mean, I was fortunate enough to watch most of the cup knock down here, and it was the sensible timing of the shots that you played. You hit good balls for fours all along the floor. It was just almost everything from when you started, from that, going back to that season when we were at Commonwealth, Liverpool Uni, everything came together that day. Yeah. And they say, don't they, every dog has its day. I'm not saying you're a dog, but you know what I mean. Yeah. That was just absolute perfection, the way that you got that. And then for it to be, obviously every 100 in a game is important, but I think the timing of it, and we were up against it a little bit, and they're quite a vocal team, aren't they? And I think it was just, one of the best, most enjoyable innings and hundreds I've ever seen, I think. And for you to get it, it meant a lot. Yeah, obviously to your teammates, but me sat over there thinking, I love this.
It meant a lot. Touch on that. I'll come back to it, said my goals, but I was so made up just to get in a team, and I was so happy to be picked every week on that, and then getting a few runs in the semi-final.
A few runs,
yeah.
you mean more than half of the team runs on your own?
Yeah, but it's just you go back to my goals this season. My ideas was get in the team and contribute. I can't help. I think I remember watching a podcast for you and say, if I don't contribute, I'm gone for a week then, because I can't live with myself. And that means just chasing the field, backing someone up. You know, I don't mind if people drop catches or don't score runs or don't bowl well, as long as they're committed to the cause.
Attitude.
That's all I care about. That's all I care about. It really does. If you've took a fiver and you've been an absolute, and you can't be arsed chasing a ball, so I'm not interested in that. But I wanted to score a few runs. I wanted to try and turn my arm over. Obviously, I didn't get the chance to last year as much as last season as I wanted to. But I understand that, because the seconds have a really solid bowling attack, like a properly solid bowling attack. I think it's underrated throughout the club, to be honest with you. But that was my goal, and then before I got me ton in the semi-final against Bedford, I think I was starting to go already then, because I did a few at Halsall and I felt in nick. That was the game we were talking about before. I think I got 27, and I was disappointed I got out. And then we played New Victoria, and I was playing really nice, and they got a good bowling attack. I was hitting it quite well. Got out mid-30s again, and then we came here, and then I don't know what happened. It was just like, it was a lovely feeling at the end.
It's history.
It was a lovely